Welcome to Scattered, the podcast that's all over the map in the best way possible. From pro wrestling to pop culture, from mental health to the Buffalo Bills, and everything in between. If it's interesting, we're talking about it. And now, here's your host, the king of variety, the master of ADD, and the guy who proves being all over the place can be awesome, Brian Fink.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Scattered. This is the podcast where we are able to jump from A to Z and then back to C. I don't know if I'm going to keep that or not, but it sounds kind of fun. Jumping from A to C or A to Z back to C. We'll see. I am your host, as you heard the beautiful introduction, Brian Fink, the master of ADD. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'll take it. You know, it's nice to be the master of something and be good at something. So if I'm good at ADD, then cool. Then that's awesome. And speaking of being the master of something, today's episode is really going to be about starting and stopping projects. Hot and cold, jumping into something and going kind of crazy involved, and then finding another shiny object to go after. And a lot of that has to do with the ADD. It's not the only thing. I don't want to use it as a scapegoat and say that's the only reason, but it's definitely something. You guys know I shared previously about the wrestling and getting into that, and I've done the real estate, things of that nature. So running hot and cold is definitely something that I do, as well as, like I said, kind of just getting really excited by stuff. ADD is definitely going to play a factor in that. I think anyone who has ever had attention deficit disorder or has worked with or had a relationship with someone with the ADD knows that sometimes we get hyper-focused, we get kind of tunnel vision, for lack of a better term, and we're really, really balls to the wall, just go all in on something to the point of almost borderline obsession. And then sometimes we jump right to something else. And for the person who's observing this, you're probably wondering, whoa, what the hell is going on here? This dude was just all into A, and now he's right into Z. You know what? That thing might actually catch on, the A to Z and back to C. I'm going to patent that one. You guys remember that. Remind me to patent that, please. But I'm thinking back on a lot of stuff that I've done. There's been so many different times where I've started something and I've stopped something. And I want to be clear. I want to be fair here. It's not just the ADD. A lot of it has to do with the lack of discipline. There are people who get up every single day, and no matter how tired they are, no matter how achy they are, they get on that treadmill or they start their weightlifting. And that's dedication. That's something that is not taught. It's something that you have to have from within. And sometimes that's a struggle. I think we all struggle with that. I would argue that I'm not the only person who struggles. I'm sure there's a lot of us out there who do. But not having that discipline sometimes, or, you know, having the ADD that kicks in sometimes, can take an emotional strain on us. You know, there's feelings of failure, of frustration, of self-doubt. I know that I personally sometimes get embarrassed when I get new ideas for things because I've jumped around so much. I've done the wrestling. We talked about that, guys. It was my lifelong dream to be WWF champion. I was going to be a pro wrestler. Now, my health problems kind of stopped me from being able to do the wrestling, but I was still involved in the business. I got to go to school for it. I got to work in front of live crowds. I worked with Sergeant Slaughter, like I said. And for whatever reason, I just did not follow through. It meant so much to me to be able to do it, to have a live crowd there booing me. I was there on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11, and Sergeant Slaughter is an American hero. He was, a true patriot, except for a short period in 91 when he decided he was an Iraqi sympathizer for a while, which was a very controversial WWE storyline. We can get into it another time. But otherwise, he was the American hero. And on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11, I came out managing a guy named Prince Akhenaten. And I apologize, Prince, if for any reason you're listening to this and I butchered your name, I apologize for that. But I got to manage the foreign bad guy. And I came out and I made disparaging, disgusting remarks about 9/11, including Sergeant Slaughter telling me to go out there and say that we had just visited the memorial. So it was a wild, crazy thing. The people hated me. I was actually scared at one point that when I went to the bathroom, I was going to get shanked. I mean, that's how much heat I thought I had. It's probably all in my head anyways, but the point is, it was everything I had ever hoped for. And I just kind of stopped going after that. I have no idea why. And I live with regret about that to this day. I did real estate last year. I went through the class. I made a great friends. I made some really good connections through my cousin, who is the most beautiful, wonderful woman I know. She had a realtor friend who I befriended, and he is very successful. He's a really sweet guy. He took me under his wing, but I got sick. And after I got sick, when I healed up, I just never followed through again. I took all that time to go through the class and just never followed through again. It didn't make any sense. For a while, I was known as the outmatched gamer. That's actually what got me into video editing, what got me into using softwares like Audacity or CapCut, because I was going to be the next angry video game nerd or the next nostalgia critic or, name your favorite YouTuber. That was going to be me. And I got really nice equipment. I got lighting equipment. I did all the things that you should do after you've put in the work and after you've shown that dedication. I tried to jump from A to Z, and I really should have mastered A first. But that just lasted a little bit. And then before you knew it, it was just something that I had done before. And all I felt afterwards was some shame and embarrassment. I got to tell you guys, even doing this, there is a level of embarrassment that comes with it. Now, what I mean by that, let me be clear. I don't have any embarrassment about putting my story out there. If this podcast reaches one person and touches them, I know it sounds cliched, I know it sounds trope, but it's true. If it touches one person, then I've done something amazing. I've done something great. So I have no shame in this. But in order for anyone to hear this, I'm going to have to promote it. And there's that fear that goes with that of people, whether I know them or not, going, oh, geez, here's Brian again, his next big adventure. I have that same fear with people in my house, and they'd never say it to me. But that fear stays with me. I have to tell you guys, Scattered feels different. It really does. It feels different. And the reason that this feels so different is this is my story. This is my voice, and it's my connection to people like me. I know for a fact I am not the only person who has gone through this. I know that there are plenty of people out there who jump into things, who start something, who are gung-ho, who are ready to go, and then life gets in the way, or they get in their own way. And it could be a disability, it could be an ADD, or something of that nature. Or it could be a lack of discipline. It could be health issues. But we've all been there, man. We've all felt it. And this is a safe haven. This is a place where we can hopefully inspire, where we can remind people that they're not alone, where I can remind you that you're not alone. And like I said, man, this is all about building a community. What I want out of this podcast more than anything else is to let people know that I'm with you. You're not alone. I've walked this walk. I've gone down this journey. And this journey is just the beginning, guys. We are capable of so much. We are capable of achieving beyond our wildest dreams. There are a couple of guys and gals, my cousin, again, who I mentioned being one of them, who just inspire me. I'm in awe of their dedication to their podcasts or to their communities or to whatever it is that gives them such passion. And I want to be able to share my passion with you guys and create a community centered around never giving up no matter what. You know, I've talked before about being a diehard Buffalo Bills fan, and really football and pro wrestling are kind of my two major obsessions. But I know a little bit about hockey. You know, I've seen all three of the Mighty Ducks movies, so that kind of makes me a pro. And really, it's Wayne Gretzky's quote that I think we all know, and it's so true. And it's, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I've taken plenty of shots. And I've had plenty of opportunities, so many blessings. And like I said, sometimes I've screwed them up. Other times, life's gotten in the way. But if I didn't go after these, if you don't go after your dreams, if you don't pick yourself up every time you fall and say, screw this, I'm not done yet. If this one didn't work, I'll find something that does. If you don't do that, then you will never grow. And I think we are all capable of growing. I think we are all capable of achieving. And I think all of us are capable of accomplishing every dream that we have. So as Michael once famously said in a song, and I promise I won't sing it. I lied. I'm going to sing it. You are not alone. Okay. I will never sing again on the podcast, I promise. If I just lost any listeners I had, I understand. I wouldn't want to listen to that either. But it's true. Guys, you're not alone. You're damn sure not a failure. You know what you are? The same as me. You're human. So the question becomes then, how do we break the cycle? How do I break the cycle? I told you guys, the wrestling, the real estate. I'm working on a book right now that has taken me literally a year, and I'm probably about halfway through it because I run hot and cold, you know, A to Z before even getting to C. I already changed it up because I can't remember. I gotta write it down, guys. It's gonna be a good catchphrase. If this ever goes anywhere, that'll be on a t-shirt, I promise you. But really, how do we get to our dreams? How do we continue with it? How do we stay the course? Here's a couple of things I'm trying. Small, consistent steps. Again, I'll say it. It sounds cliched. It sounds trope, but it's true, man. Small, consistent steps. Do a little bit each day. I had lunch with my cousin earlier this week, and she mentioned to me that she gets up every day, and whether it's 15 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour, she just does some writing. Whether it's the biggest crapola she's ever written, she does the writing. She stays consistent. The other thing we can do, guys, is we can lean on people for accountability. I have a wife who is so damn supportive of me. I have a daughter who is 11 years old. So right now I'm still her idol, which is so cool. And I'm going to lean on them for accountability. They want me to be able to succeed in this podcast. And I want to be able to, frankly. So I'm going to lean on them. And then lastly, I'm going to recognize the achievements. The fact I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now. The fact that I'm not still in the planning stages and overthinking everything and getting nothing done. That's an achievement. You know, when I worked as a CPS, a certified peer specialist, I had a client who had been an athlete at Penn State. He'd played for the Penn State college team. And this is before really CTE was really well known. But he started talking about how he had lost his family from concussions and his behavior had changed and he had become a very depressed and angry person. And it was kind of sad. He had a wife, he had kids, and he had kind of fallen out of favor and contact with them. But he mentioned something to me, guys, and it has stuck with me ever since. He said, every morning that I wake up and I get out of bed, that's a victory. Every morning that I brush my teeth, that's a victory. So guys, let's celebrate the small steps. Let's celebrate the little things that get us there. Remember, every time we pick ourselves back up, we're one step closer to where we want to be. It's that line from Batman Begins, you know, where Alfred says to Bruce Wayne, "Why do we fall, Master Wayne?" And Bruce says, so we can pick ourselves back up. And I think that's the truth, guys. We're going to have to keep going with this. You're going to have to get up every day and work towards your dreams. And damn it, I'm going to have to get up every day and work towards mine. And together, we're going to achieve all of our goals, guys. So I thank you for listening. I thank you for being a part of this community. I hope to inspire at least one person from this. Make sure you like and subscribe, you know, all of that shameless plugging stuff. Feel free to share this podcast if it resonates with you. And feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? What's something that you've started and stopped and wish you could have gone back to? Because it's never too late, guys. It's never too late. So, with that in mind, let's stay scattered, let's stay connected, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now.